Good day, viewers. Welcome to Global Entertainment News. We welcome you to your opinion, where we discuss the hottest topic and hear what you think. I am your host, Bella, and joining me in the studios are
Student.
so let's dive right into this today, your opinion. In this segment, we will explore the roles of the United States Agency of International Development, USAID, in global affairs. Is it truly a humanitarian organization focused on development and aid, or does it serve as a strategic tool for US influence? What do you think is US aid helping the world, or does it have hidden motive? Let's know this in the comment section. Well, on today's question that I'm going to be asked, what is USAID aim role in global development and how effective has it been?
To me, USAID role is number one for economic. We have development assistance for the country worldwide, and for the effective, how effective has it has been. It has been a quite. Let me just say, yeah, the effectiveness is quite good. When we talk about this providing assistance for the country.
For the country with
Yeah,
less development.
exactly.
Okay.
So that's how effective they have been.
Well, there have been rumors about this USAID on the social media about their recent discovery since President Trump has taken over the seat in the White House, and then the DOGE that have come out working with Elon Musk, trying to bring out some hidden provision that has been going down the drain on the wrong path. So we are thinking that this USAID is not just for humanitarian purpose alone,
No.
because the discovery was quite perplexed that how can a USAID that's supposed to be an aid to African country that is going on a low economic now turn around to be sponsoring terrorism and all that. They were expecting something more meaningful, that the money is actually going to a better way, but it feels like it's not like that. And I'm thinking that this USAID, it had two motives. The NGO is there, but I think right now the NGO has been stopped for some times now. So I would. What is my next question is that, do you think USAID genuinely helps struggling nations, or does it comes with a political string attack?
To me, what I say about this is that I think the USSID, in an organization where there is good eggs, they expect there are also bad eggs inside too.
Yes.
The the organization has let's say two different part of people holding it. That same organization, you will see the bad eggs trying to use the funds for their own interest. It was exposed that the USSID has also they've been sponsoring terrorist groups such as the ISS, ISIS, even Boko Haram was even mentioned in it.
Yes.
Just imagine that kind of fund that's gone into this kind of organization. Millions of dollars are being there, and this money are being used to fund terrorists, fund kidnappers. I don't know what the main aim of these people. You are expected to use these funds to see
For
the
assistance.
needs of particular country that is going into probably like what happened in Russia. Let's use
Yes. Russia.
Ukraine for an example. These funds are meant to see to the help of those people that are really displaced. Look at what happened in California, I guess, the fire outbreak and everything. This money are meant to see to the aid of those people, not to be used. When you don't see what to use this money for, the next thing those people will think is, okay, this money that we have at least $400 million. What are we using this money for? Instead of leaving this money in the purse of their account, you will see someone that will give you the idea of, okay, this money, let's use this money, let's use this money to do this thing, then we'll refund it back. So most of this money are being used to fund terrorism just for their own selfish interest.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe the rich or feels like they are bored, or it is the world is becoming boring, and then they feels like there are some parts of the country, some parts of the world that needed to be going through war, while they be the one to fund the terrorists at the same time. Because I don't understand why the amount of 490 something million dollars be going to a terrorist alone.
Some people have some big names. They've actually invested a lot in different sectors of business. Just imagine someone that invested in medical aspect now, and you're making the whole world being silent without medical issues. Is this money that they use to fund terrorists? Before you know, they will tell you that one particular disease is disturbing one part of the world.
Yes,
So they will be the one to invent that disease,
there was some
and
money that was being
they,
sent
they
to.
will be the ones to invent that disease, and they will still be the same people to advise you to use their own source of drugs to heal those diseases because they want to make sales. They will still be the same people that will cause fire outbreak and tell you we need to restructure this part of the place because they've spent money on infrastructure. Those kind of things. This is what the world have been going through. You see a particular person that will tell you this place they will cause flood in a particular place, and they will still go back to the government and tell the government that they have the resources to take care of this. The government will now have to spend, instead of using that money to give to the families, they will have to give them the billions of dollars for them to sustain that particular aspect. So this thing is like a vice versa kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, here is a list of sick and insane projects on which they spent American taxpayers' money. Taxpayers have funded the unaccompanied children program with 19,948,819.9 billion dollars since 2008 in child trafficking. Wow, that is a lot. 18.5 billion naira sent from USAID in the last 4 years, laundered through DA Amsterdam Bank and give to terror state located in the Middle East. Can you imagine?
Imagine the the USAID spending $500 million for secret NGO. Just
Yes.
imagine that kind of thing, and you expect the world itself to not be in that same shambles. This money is basically diverted.
Moved.
You see that these people calling this thing probably the finance secretary or the president of the association or the secretary, those heads they will be the one doing this operation together because they are the ones that have access to the account. A floor member can say I want to remove such huge amount of money without being noticed.
Then we have Bill Gates Vaccine Organization. Wow, probably was awarded 4.8 trillion from USAID. That is a lot of money. $100 billion in annual payment to individual who does not even have social security number. Five
Imagine.
hundred billion to do animal tests since 1998. 1.3 billion dollars to terrorist organization around the world. That is the part that I feels like it's really, really, and so those countries that have been facing terrorism. Let me just use Nigerian as an example, that we have been facing terrorists for the past. Boko Haram has been in Nigeria for decades now. So we feel like this thing is kind of us to come outside and then try to talk to this, because if it's possible that our government, the past one, let me say, President Buhari, should be in a link to this kind of a thing, to accepting the USAID to actually sponsor a terrorist in Nigeria, then we know that we are done for.
Yeah.
We are done for, because this whole thing is now coming up as if that there's a whole lot that has been going on between this USAID and everything needs to be in
This
awareness.
information went viral. You can see that most politicians, most people are not talking about this.
At all.
They always find a way to take this away from social media. This trended for just 2 days. We didn't hear about it again.
Yes.
That's something about our leaders. They will pay. See, most of all these bloggers that they think they have followers.
Instablog.
People strive to always want to go to them to read for more news. They'll be the same people to bring this up. They'll still be the same people to cut it out. If you check most of all these bloggers, they've been paid to remove this out of their,
Yes, so
to
one of
bring
the
it down.
bloggers actually tweeted about it, and then the next few minutes it was wiped off.
Because when you see someone that gives you huge amount like 10 million naira or 20 million naira for you to take that information down, they'll be glad to do it because they've not seen that kind of money before.
Exactly.
And this kind of thing will just die down. People will not talk about it again, and they'll just keep doing it. It keeps going and going and going, and we don't know anything about it. These are where these politicians and mostly governors and leaders make their money from sponsoring terrorism.
And to my next, why do some governments accuse USAID of interfering in their political affairs? Because they are benefiting from it.
Yeah.
No, they will. See, let me tell you, if USSD come into your government affair, I tell you, you want to listen to them because the kind of offers they will bring to you, you'll be very glad.
They will dominate.
They will tell you that when you have issues, come to us. If you need weapon, they will give you. If you need if you have any issue, you want to borrow loan, they will give you so many reasons that you want to confine in them. But if they want to invest in your country, I tell you, once they come into your country, you not even get in control of the country. You be seeing things happen in your country, but you can't talk because you are the one in charge.
Yes.
If I tell you that the USSD are the ones investing on Boko Haram, that's why you can't catch Boko Haram. It's very easy for these people to take in a drone and go there and wipe off the whole of Boko Haram. You can't tell me that Boko Haram will be in the US, will be in the United States. Let's imagine the United States of America now. Boko Haram has been there for they can't even survive for 1 year.
No.
The United States, they can't survive for 3 months. They can't survive there because the way they will attack them, they won't even wish they were alive. Just imagine Boko Haram coming out in the broad daylight, operating, going into a neighborhood, killing people. They will still have a camp where they stay day and night, and they are not wiped
When
out.
the first time they arrived, they were talking about the Chibok girls that was being kidnapped, and then over 100 of children were being kidnapped. And then, so the question is that how were they able to manage with a coaster, if it's going to be a bus that they use to pack those girls? How were they able to pass through checkpoints and then they were not stopped at all?
Those things are very easy. They've been paid already, I tell you, because
They are funded.
they've been paid for all those things. You kidnap, and those students spent 3 years in that camp.
More are still there.
Most of them say we won't hear they are now wives of those terrorists. Some are now there, they are married,
Giving
they're
birth.
just there giving birth. That's just their work, giving birth, giving birth. They turn them to slave there. Or they even turn them to sex workers already. So this kind of thing is I will not advise any nation to allow the SSC to come into their affairs at all.
Exactly. We feels like some they even get allowance for being a terrorist. They are being paid, being fed, and all that. And then there are some group on the social media that was trying to kick against those words and says that how will an insane Nigerian think that a US AID is actually involved in those that is sponsoring Nigeria terrorists that is sponsoring them to attack Nigeria. We should think much better that we shouldn't shift our blame on the USAID, that we should have to look for solution instead of us trying to shift our blames on the USAID. And I feel like maybe those people are just trying to make some people that understand this thing to make them look like what they are trying to fight against is not worth it. That the ex president of the United States that they are calling is not involved in that or is not in any way. But there were videos that was being back up where Goodluck Jonathan was actually trying to say that during his second time he noticed the way he actually performed in that, like giving choosing person for Nigeria. How is that even supposed to be possible?
Good luck himself never accepted to their offer when they came. It was when what's his name? Buhari entered that they came to him the second time. That was when Obama visited Nigeria, and the wife also visited Nigeria. This former president also, Biden. Then he was the vice president to Obama. He came. They visited the president. I think that was when all this signing took place. Because
Yes.
they've really been sponsoring so many. This year they can't go outside EU, inside Europe and say they want to sponsor because most of all those European countries, they are very smart for all these kinds of things. They use it for them to detect this kind of thing. They prefer going to Africans, going to other countries that they know that their technology is not too shown for them. They can hide. That's how they spoiled Afghanistan. They spoiled Iran and Iraq, supplying them weapons to destroy their country, giving them arms, ammunition, and everything. They even have, if I tell you that the USAID have a particular place where they produce weapon, any place, they produce weapon, private sector where they produce weapon,
There was a say that
and they sell it out.
when Goodluck Jonathan was there, he was being denied. He was being denied weapon. While this Boko Haram just emerged in Nigeria, he says that he wanted to purchase weapon that time, but Obama denied him the access of not.
Because they didn't sign any treaty with them. They didn't sign the agreement to them for them to come into their nation and have a political affair with them. Yeah, well, we don't go for
You know, once Nigeria sees money like this, like they become something else.
It's not just deny. Let me talk.
They,
Let me
they
say this.
become something else. You know, they give them what they need. They are always giving them what they need. And once they need, I'm giving you what you need every time. If I tell you that, okay, I want to do this in your country, won't you allow me?
It's not even about money. You see,
You
the
allow
US,
me.
you can't. I don't see any nation that can fight the US because I tell you that one of the most corrupt countries in the world is the US. US are very corrupt, but they hide it in a way that before you know it, notice it,
Because they are
it
smart.
will be very, very hard.
They are
They have
smart.
the technology to hide so many things. The US can be in Nigeria here. They can be in Nigeria here having a secret operation, probably somewhere that they work secretly. You won't know that they are in the US.
Yeah.
They are in Nigeria. You know that they have headquarters in Ghana. The US can be using their embassy to do so many fraud, and you don't know about it. You can be using their embassy to do many fraud because you can't try them. If you kill one particular citizen, let me tell you, if you are being chased by Nigerian police here in the country, Nigeria, you are being chased by Nigerian police, and you run into the US embassy. The Nigerian police does not have any right to go inside the US embassy to arrest that person. If you kill somebody, if you shoot somebody in public and you run into the gate of the Nigerian embassy, the Nigerian police, anything concerning Nigeria, you can't go into that compound. See that corners of that compound, you can't enter there. Because once you enter there and do anything, it's an act of war. In any other embassy, the China embassy, any other country, once you enter their embassy, it's an act of war. So the US, I believe that they believe in that policy that they can go into any country and go into their political affair, give you things that you see that ammunition, they're always proud about it because they have arms, they have connections, they have everything. Once they want to give you things that make you you can't
Not
say
to
no.
reject their
Even though you're a
offers.
president, as big as you are the president of the country, the ordinary an ambassador of the US, ambassador to the US or ambassador to Nigeria from the US, they respect them a lot. But because the kind of connections they have there is more than you being the president of this country.
Well, should developing countries rely on USAID or should they seek alternative source of funding?
To me, why will they rely on USAID after all this? They should seek alternative this thing. They should go out. Because once they rely on USAID and if anything happens, how do they want to cope? Where do they want to start from? It's like them building a house and all of a sudden it collapse. Where do they want to start from?
Well, what I'm thinking that some of this let me use China as China is not depending on this
At all.
USAID. They are not because they have their own powers as well, and then that is actually a good one because I feel like the power they have on this less on developed countries, that is what is causing this whole thing right now. Because if some countries that's actually well developed and then they have their own source, without that they would all this us trying to pay terrorists to go into that country and start destroying and killing people wouldn't have happened. So if there would any country that is developed, that is well developed in both technology and then in resources, I don't feel there's any need for them to actually depend on USAID because it's not in a good way. They'll cause the trouble and then they'll feel like they're trying to bring out the
Mm-hmm.
solution. What do you think does USAID do more good or harm in the world?
Well, it's to me. I won't settle for the good part or the harm part because it's what we found out about the USAID. with the informations we've gotten from them now, I think they are more they are more harmful to the nation because you can't give 10% of something and you're expecting 20% back from it.
Exactly.
I see the organization as more like devils. They say when devils give you something with the left hand, you're
Yeah,
going to use right hand to
to
collect it
collect
back.
it back.
That's just that association. Because you don't expect an association that will be able to borrow you one point something $1 trillion, $1 point something $1 trillion, just like that, without having, without seeking for something.
Without looking for something in
They
return.
want to be everywhere. You see, when it comes to anything concerning US, they just want to be everywhere in the world. They want to have a particular place
Signatures.
where they can say, okay, oh, this is we are taking. They are almost taking from almost everywhere in the world. That power that they believe they have. That's why Russia will never accept the US because they believe
Same
that
thing with China.
even China said China were always seeking help. They do seek help from the US before, but now they believe it's even North Korea. They believe that North Korea they don't want anything to do with outside nations again. Everything they are doing now is from their country. They have their own currency now. They don't spend other people's currency. You can't spend other currency inside their country.
Wow.
If you are coming to their country, I think it's even from the airport to change the money. The kind of policy
Exactly.
they have there now is so different that they don't always help from outside. You can't give out to more than two child in that country. If you are if you are if you go to prison and you die in prison, they will come from one of your family to finish that sentence. That kind of policy in that country, you can't have more than two, three airports. You can't jot and swing. You just imagine that kind of policy being set in that nation. You think the US cannot even come to them and say they want to influence them with anything again.
No.
The likes of China, the likes of Germany, the likes of France, the likes of
Russia.
Russia. Yeah?
I think that let me say Donald Trump coming into the seat right now is actually a good positive way because if not for him and Elon Musk, we wouldn't have known that this a whole lot of misuse and then sponsoring of terrorism is actually going on the USAID that we all has been thinking that is a help. The NGO is there that we all thought that is a hand in hand workship for us that is going to develop us, not knowing that they are actually being sponsored by a group of how will I say political minded people that feels like they can't just sit down alone and be thinking of how to develop but how to destroy and also develop it at the same time. That is what I say. So the work of Elon and Donald Trump is actually an excellent one, and then we hope that all these things should cut off. I'm also going to be talking about Nigeria that if there is anything possible we needed to do to cut ourselves off from this USAID, if it is possible.
Well, I will also want to applaud Elon Musk for that because most of all these things been going on around the transfer and everything. They don't know that Elon Musk has enough server for him to be able to track all these things.
Yes,
He was the one that brought. He has more experience when it comes to crypto. You
yes,
might not be
yes.
able to access into your wallet or anything, but you as far as you are a registered you have a registered crypto account. There are some informations that you also need to drop before you open such account. With the information he has and the server record he has with him, that's what he has to share with the US government. And the amount itself has a big role in
DOGE.
Donald Trump's re-election. He has a good, as it's when he use the word support. He
Yes.
was part of the support that brought him into that place. And he was even surprised when he had that Twitter paid a lot of support for him, Facebook paid a lot of support. All his most WhatsApp also. There was a time he wanted to even ban TikTok. They wanted to ban TikTok. It was later he knew that TikTok self played
Big
13% role in his election
campaign.
campaign and everything.
Well, we just hope that Nigeria will step up this time around and take the right position because we can't be depend. How will I even say it? We can't actually turn a blind eyes and a deaf ears towards what is happening around us. If it is true that the USAID is actually sponsoring the Boko Haram in Nigeria, I think it's that time we step up and say an end to all this. That is what I have to say. Well, we have come to the end of today's show. That is all for today's episode of Global Entertainment News. I have We have an insightful discussion on the USAID, its roles, impacts, and the controversies. While some see it as a vital force for global good, others believe it serves political interests. At the end of the day, the big question remains: is USAID truly helping nations, or does it come with hidden motive? We would love to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments, share this discussion, and stay tuned for more engaging conversation. I have been your host, Bella, and this has been your opinion. See you next time. Bye.